Assessing Learners. On Thursday, November 12, 2016, I went into Katie McGill's second grade classroom at Breezus Elementary School. As I was observing her class, they were working on math. At the beginning of her lesson, they had a review from the previous day and talked about what they would be learning today, which according to Hall is a way that teachers use to help students assess themselves. The students were working on place value and then planning on going to play a partner game at the end of the lesson, and then preparing to take an assessment. McGill walked around the classroom as the students were working on their warm-up, and when she saw a student struggling, went and helped guide them and asked them questions that might make them think back and remember how to successfully do the problem. According to Hall, this is a form of formative assessment that was carried out informally, and then prompting questions helped the students improve. McGill can then write this information down in a file on those students, stating that she helped them during this lesson, and go back later and see if the student is improving through the unit, or if they will need more help. Next, the students sat on the floor in the front of the smartboard, and they all had whiteboards and markers. McGill went over a lesson about place value into the hundreds and explained each position. They then did some examples where this number would be stated, and the students had to say which was in a specific place value. McGill would ask the students, give them think time, and then would have the students call out the number as a group. When she saw some students did not have the right answer, she would call in a student who had the right answer and have them explain it to the rest of the class. According to Hall, this is a form of formative assessment where the students can learn from their peers and assess their own learning. After the lesson, the students played a place value game with cards where they had cards with numbers 0 through 9. They had to draw one card at a time and decide which place they would like to put the card in order to make the highest number, not knowing which other two cards they would have drawn. Each student played with a partner and saw who could get the highest number, and then played the same game and tried to have the lowest number. At the end of the warm-up lesson and game, students had to take an assessment. The assessment they had to take was a diagnostic assessment that all second grade teachers were going to use to know where to place their students for their Math IFG. Math IFG is an instructional focused group time where the students are split by their level of ability on specific skills into 5 classrooms where the teachers can teach to their level and help the students improve. IFG focus occurs 4 times in a week for 30 minutes each time. A diagnostic assessment is a great way to test the student's ability and see their strengths and weaknesses according to OB and SAP, and must be the first step in differentiating instruction because you use diagnostic assessments to learn what your students' varying needs are. According to OB and SAP, the process where students design their instructions to meet the needs of every student is called differentiated instruction. This is the second time the teachers have given an assessment like this and are splitting their students up, as it is the start of a new unit and the children need to be reevaluated and split up again. According to OB and SAP, the students should be given a diagnostic assessment at the beginning of each new unit. I agree with all of McGill's teaching assessments that she and the rest of the second grade team are using. With everything that McGill was doing during her math time, I found justification for it in the textbook. McGill used formative assessment and diagnostic assessments, both in which help her as a teacher to get to know her students better and allow the students to know how they are doing as well. The only thing that I would change in her classroom is to introduce more authentic assessment instruments. According to OB and SAP, a lot of assessments used by teachers are not naturalistic based or performance based, and that the teacher's judgments about the student's ability will always be involved. According to Kulowick, in his video, what the children are learning needs to be applied to something other than school and related to the real world. The students must apply their knowledge, not take their knowledge and answer problems. Kulowick also mentioned that in authentic assessments, not only should just the teachers look at their students' work, but also other students, other teachers, and possibly even others in the community could also be evaluating their work. I believe when students have this kind of assessment, they would care more about their work, try harder, and be more engaged. Through this unit, I have learned a lot about assessments, and it has opened my mind to the different kinds of assessments I will use in my classroom so that I can better understand my students and start them on the road to success from the very beginning.